Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be customizing this Bonita doll from Freaky Fusion into the other mother. If you haven't seen me customize this apple white doll into Coraline, make sure to check that video out as well. I started off with removing the face with 100% acetone. I made another Beldam doll in the past, so I'll make sure to put a picture here as well. I went straight in with my epoxy A and B to start sculpting on the face. At first, I did try to sculpt the buttons on just straight, but I ended up smoothing out the face a little bit more since her eye sculpts are really prominent. After that dried, I went in with another layer to actually sculpt the button eyes. Okay, so Bonita is half skeleton, half moth. So she's got like these furry sculpted legs and torso, like half the torso. So I went in with my nail drill and just drilled off as much as I could without going too far into the plastic. After that, I moved on to using a higher grit sandpaper. This is literally just a nail file with a really high grit that I already had, so I went in with that and it ended up being easier. After that, it'll be kind of like grainy, and since it's like sanded plastic, and usually sanded plastic will become grainy after you sand it with a heavy grit. So I took the time to quick sculpt her shoes. I didn't have any shoes that were a good match, so I was like, I'm just gonna sculpt them. I was doing my Corpse Bride doll around this time, so I think sculpting her shoes inspired me to sculpt the other mother. I already had this base in my stock. I didn't go out of my way to buy her specifically. She was just in a doll lot that I already had. I didn't even sand them at this point. I'm just going in with a gesso and just basically doing a layer on that sanded plastic. Once that's fully dry, you'll be able to sand it and sand off like that, like those little grits, and it'll become smooth without creating more grits since the paint kind of helps harden the plastic. I also cut out the little knuckles that were connecting the fingers so that her fingers looked longer. Once I painted gesso, sanded it, painted it, sanded it, I did that about 3 or 4 times. Once I felt like I got it as smooth as I could, I went in with some white paint after I sanded the entire body. Once that was fully dry and I could paint varnish over, I went in with my black paint and painted those buttons. And then I went in with my red paint to paint her shoes red. I used that same red for her lips. I sprayed the face with Mr. Super Clear, and I'm just kind of mapping out where I'm going to paint her lipstick. I'm just going in with that same red to paint her lips. Once I saw Bonita, I was like, okay, she like is kind of giving the Beldam. At first I was like, am I crazy? Like, she has these features that just like, minus the really intense eye sculpt, the rest of her features just really like looked like the Beldam to me. Like, I don't know, obviously they're not the same, but for it not being inspired after her, it just kind of reminded me of her. Like, she was smiling a bit and her nose was just like similar to the Beldam's, except a little less pointy. And then with the skeleton part, she's already really skinny. I felt like that kind of matched it, and she also kind of turned into like some spider skeleton thing, like in her final form. So I just kind of felt like it would kind of add more character to her instead of like sculpting over the skeleton and just making it look like flesh and like she just had really skinny arms, since that would kind of just defeat the purpose of using this body. At that point, I would just use a regular body. But with this, I feel like it's kind of like an in-between form almost, and I felt like that would fit just with like the skeleton parts. It's a custom doll, so I felt like these small little changes just made her a little bit more unique, or these small things that I kept instead of changing made her more unique. Her face up is fairly simple after we get the sculpting done. I'm just drawing in her eyebrows. I'm using a little bit of a damp brush to make sure her eyebrows are dark. She basically just has super dark red lipstick. We painted her eyebrows and gave her some shading around the eyes and some wrinkles to make her look scary. And that's basically the face up with her little beauty mark. After I sealed the face, I gave her some red nails. I could go over the eyes with resin. You can kind of see here one is a little bit thicker than the other, so I used that resin to build one of them a little bit more, and then I did a layer on both, and they ended up being almost exactly the same. I'm using this little cone thing that I cut out to help with the point and build that little point. I used a bit of hot glue to keep it in place, and I put hair underneath. If I did it again, I think I would make it a little bit longer just to make it more pointed. I also painted that black before I attached the yarn wefts. I just used black yarn wefts, and after I styled her hair, I used the same technique as Coraline with a watered down glue wash. I didn't really record making her dress. It was really complicated. I just used black fabric. I sewed it directly onto her, and I painted little dots. I made her like this little belt thing that had her like that like beetle kind of print, or I don't know if it's supposed to be for a spider print. I attached that, sewed it directly on, and here she is. Thank you so much for watching. It was so fun making another Beldam doll, and yeah, stay tuned for some more spooky dolls.